my little boy Pudge. He's 8, little sweetie. He's gonna be our little helper today. But what I'm gonna show you is how to check for a diastasis or a diastasis. However you wanna say it, it doesn't really matter. They're both the same principle. But first I'll tell you what a diastasis is, and that's whenever these six-pack muscles on the top, it's whenever they separate and pull apart from pregnancy, or even not from pregnancy. It can be from just lack of core control and core stability. Men can have diastasis, so it doesn't matter who you are, you can still potentially have one if you do not know how to properly control your core. So how we check for that is we are going to lie on our back with our knees bent, and you're going to find from in between your belly button to the base of your ribs, you're going to find that in between portion. So you may have a diastasis already, and what we're going to be measuring with is our fingertips. So 2 to 3, or I guess about 2 is normal, and that's not considered a diastasis, but 3 or more is considered a diastasis. But really what we're looking for here isn't necessarily the width, so we're going to be measuring the width and the depth. It's the depth that is the kicker here, because the depth is where we get whether you're firing your core properly or not. And so the depth also tells us how the integrity of your fascia or that connective tissue is, and whether it's loading properly or not. So once again, we're lying on our back. We're going to take an inhale, and then we're going to exhale, and we're just going to lift our chin up. And I want you to feel that in-between portion, in between your rectus abdominis muscles, in between your six-pack muscles. Just feel how wide is that separation, if there is any at all, and how deep does it go. It should feel like a trampoline here. If you would need to relax your head down, feel free to do so. You can take a breath and then just come back up. But how does that feel? Does it feel like a trampoline that can give you a good amount of kickback? Or does it feel like you can feel your guts? Because that is what we need to fix. So we're going to check for 3 places down our abdomen. We're going to check that spot that we just did. The second location is going to be right around our belly button. So this is the hardest part to heal and to come back together, and it's where most women feel the loosest. And that once again tells us how you're loading your muscles. And if it's really soft and or deep there, then that's where we need to practice on really engaging from our pelvic floor up and really tightening those muscles around that belly button to bring that integrity of the fascia back up. And then the last place we check would be in between our belly button and our pubic bone. So this rectus muscle goes all the way down and connects to our pubic bone, but the 2 sides of it meet right there. So once again, in between our ribs and our belly button, continue to practice this or do this test as I'm walking you through this. So we're doing the upper portion. If you've moved to the middle portion, great, around your belly button. Once again, 2 fingers or less is not a diastasis, 3 fingers or more is, but really what we're looking for is that integrity of the connective tissue, and then we're moving down below the belly button and feeling there. So one way that we can test, well, let me rephrase this. So we're going to do this self-check again, but we're going to incorporate a pelvic floor lift. So we're going to incorporate that Kegel, and then we're going to see if our diastasis feels differently. So I want you to take that inhale again, and then exhale, lift your chin and lift your pelvic floor, and notice, do you get more firmness with it? Does it feel the same? Do you feel firmer in one spot versus another? If you can relax down. If you feel that you have more connectivity and integrity and it tightens up a little bit more, that is great, because that means that the muscles are firing properly. And then that also means that, you know, there's hope, right? So we have that awareness of our core and our connection to it. And so that means that we can continue to work on that. And that's where that pelvic floor lift comes in as we're going through exercises. But you can also do this just throughout your day, anytime. It's all about awareness and learning how to fire our core properly. So underneath this six-pack muscle, the rectus abdominis, we have our obliques, our internal and external obliques, and then even below that we have that corset muscle, our transverse abdominis, that wraps around. So those internal and external obliques and the transverse abdominis, that's what we're trying to get to fire in connection with the pelvic floor, so the whole chain works together. Also, if all of this is connected above, it's going to relay up into our neck, into our shoulders, and have everything moving how it should be and stabilizing our spine properly. So I hope that test taught you some things and brought some awareness to your core and your pelvic floor, and keep practicing it throughout the day. We don't want our floors to get hypertonic, but it's just something to be mindful of. Just practice it a couple sets a day. You don't have to be lying. I'm saying practice just engaging your pelvic floor on the inhale as you turn on your core too, to work those deeper ab muscles. So practice it a couple sets a day, 5 to 10 breaths, and yeah, let me know how it goes.